Welcome to the CDE Equity Thought Leaders series. Each leader will cover the topics of teacher retention, recruitment, diversification, and/or culturally sustaining pedagogies. Why focus on diversifying the teacher workforce? In America, 50% of our students identify as being a person of color compared to 20% of their teachers. Only 2% of teachers of color in the U.S. are Black males. 40% of U.S. public schools do not have a single teacher of color. Students benefit from mirrors and windows. The mirror representing the story that reflects their own culture and helps them build their own identity, and the window that offers them a view into someone else's experience. Students of color demonstrate greater academic achievement and social and emotional development in classes with teachers of color. Teachers of color often function as cultural translators and advocates for students of color because they have multicultural awareness. Students of color and white students also report having positive perceptions of their teachers of color, including feeling cared for and academically challenged. Policies to increase teacher diversity should include not only strategies for recruiting more teachers of color, but also for retaining them over the long term. Why start at retention? High turnover rates have offset successful recruitment of teachers of color in recent years and continue to contribute to unmet demand for teachers of color. Retention and equity. Turnover rates are 50% higher for teachers in Title I schools, which serve more low-income students. Turnover rates are 70% higher for teachers in schools serving the largest concentrations of students of color. Teachers of color disproportionately work at Title I schools and schools with large concentrations of students of color. Retain. Examples include positive and inclusive school culture and climate, strong school site leadership, teacher collaboration, classroom autonomy, mentoring, induction, teacher residencies, career pathways. Recruit. Some retention strategies are strong recruitment strategies. Classroom autonomy, inclusive school climates, teacher residency programs, grow your own, bilingual educator pipelines, alternative pathways to a credential, community college pathways. Supporting all students. Diversification of the teacher workforce is an important and necessary goal, but it will take time. However, there are strategies that can be utilized to increase the cultural competency of the current teacher workforce. One approach is to utilize asset-based pedagogies which benefit all students, especially students of color. Asset-based pedagogies focus on the strengths that diverse students bring to the classroom. Ensuring equity for an increasingly diverse student population relies on today's educators viewing student differences as assets and not deficits. Culturally relevant pedagogy. Dr. Gloria Latson-Billings, pictured in this slide, coined the phrase culturally relevant pedagogy. Culturally relevant pedagogy's three main components are focusing on student learning, developing students' cultural competence, and supporting students' critical consciousness. Culturally relevant pedagogy is not student learning translated as assimilation and narrow forms of success, cultural competence translated as, quote, we did or read something Native, Black, Latinx, Asian, unquote. Critical consciousness as either distorted or left out altogether. Culturally responsive teaching. Geneva Gay, pictured on the left, and Zaretta Hammond, pictured on the right, utilize culturally responsive teaching. Culturally sustaining pedagogies, building on asset-based pedagogies. Culturally sustaining pedagogy. The graphic shows the book Culturally Sustaining Pedagogies, Teaching and Learning for Justice in a Changing World by Django Paris and H. Samia Lim. Culturally sustaining pedagogy is teaching and learning that seeks to perpetuate and foster linguistic, literate, and cultural pluralism as part of the democratic project of schooling and as a needed response to demographic and social change. Culturally revitalizing pedagogy is an approach designed to address the socio-historical and contemporary contexts of Native American schooling. Culturally relevant pedagogy and culturally sustaining pedagogy. Culturally sustaining pedagogy builds on culturally relevant pedagogy as depicted by the arrow going from CRP to CSP. Students' heritage and community cultural practices are a part of both pedagogies. Culturally relevant pedagogy and earlier pedagogies invite students' cultural ways into the classroom primarily as a bridge to, quote, better, unquote, mainstream practices. Culturally sustaining pedagogy seeks not only for students to maintain their own practices, but also to grow more critically engaged with them rather than only seeing them as a bridge. The following resources can be found on the California Department of Education's web pages under Promoting Equitable Access to Teachers. Diversifying the Workforce, www.cde.ca.gov/pd/diverse-teacher-workforce.asp. Asset-based pedagogies, www.cde.ca.gov/pd/asset-based-pedagogies.asp. Retention, www.cde.ca.gov/pd/ee/peat-retention.asp. Recruitment, www.cde.ca.gov/pd/ee/peat-recruitment.asp. General Program Information, www.cde.ca.gov/pd/ee/peat.asp. We can be reached at Teacher and Leader Policy Office, TLPO, Educator Excellence and Equity Division, 916-445-7331, tlpo@cde.ca.gov. Please reach out to the Department of Education for support, ideas, or to share your successes.